Silicon Valley Bank chief risk officer inexplicably left company last year with over $7.1 million. Must be nice. Laura Izzareti, unexplained exit from Silicon Valley Bank in April 2022, left it without a chief risk officer, and has raised suspicions among financial analysts in conducting a post-mortem of the failed institution. But she managed to exit the company unscathed and actually got stinking rich, even made $7.15 million bank bucks as she entered her role on April 29th, 2022. They were managed very well, low risk until April 30th when she was gone. All of a sudden, the risk hit the books. There was no risk under her fiefdom. Let's see. She was able to hash out an exit deal with the board, earning $512,000 base pay, a $450,000 bonus, $457,000 severance, and an extra $1.5 million to stay on as a consultant for 5 months while the bank looked for a successor. The filing said the dismissal was without cause, meaning it was not for any kind of misconduct, but did not offer any other explanation. So I looked old Laura up there, and very interesting. To Towson State in Maryland, Johns Hopkins, got her business degree or master's MBA from Johns Hopkins. Worked for Capital One. She worked for Freddie Mac first, which is suspect. Then went to work for Capital One, which I think is headquartered in Richmond, if memory serves. And then for some reason she moved up the chain of command, and then some reason she fit the diversity hire for Silicon Valley Bank, and she went to Silicon Valley Bank for 6 years. It does look like she's working right now. I looked up her LinkedIn profile, which I won't share with you here, and basically says she manages risks. And if you were to hire that lady to manage your risk, please, I got some oceanfront property in Arizona for you to buy. Trust me, I do. No risk, dude, no risk. Anyway, so there's this artist, pretty interesting. Silicon Valley's bank proxy shows board secret year-long risk panic. So remember, can I do my video? Hey, Pablo, hey. There, go get him, Pablo. Hey. You know what kind of you don't get this kind of entertainment just anywhere. Anyway, so let's read this. So here's that guy. Why aren't these people in jail? I don't understand, man. Let's see. As the news broke, pundits quickly pointed to typical financial institution demise culprits, overly aggressive investments, interest rate spike quicksand, because no one knew that if interest rates go up, your price of the bonds would go down. That's not, that only happened. So she left on April 29th. The risk only took place on April 30th. We had no risk there for interest rate risk or anything like that. None. Only on April 30th did it happen. I shouldn't say that. She was a consultant for the risk for 5 more months later. So when, let's see, April, May, June, July, August, September. So in October is when the risk happened. Because when she was there managing the risk, there wasn't any. Because she would have managed it correctly instead of walking away with almost $2 million. Let's see. The sudden free fall is likely not a surprise to the board in the past 15 months. What? That's when Laura was still there? As top insiders cashed options and sold shares, SVB operated without a full-time chief risk officer, and the number of board risk committee meetings more than double. The board now faces the question, the classic Watergate. What did they know and when did they know it? The 2023 proxy holds some clues. Above and beyond pay intrigue, proxy statements reveal much about the corporate governance. For instance, the word risk appears 192 times in the 2023 proxy filing. That number is high, but not surprising. All right. Beyond the perfunctory verbiage, the first report by non-GAAP accounting disclosed the risk clear became a skyrocketing concern for the board. Calls for 7 of his 11 board members to serve on his risk committee, while no other committee consists more than 5 directors. Oh, they have former Barclays investment banking CEO. Next thing you know, they're going to have Credit Suisse investment banking. Remember the Pip and Pippa, Peter? You know that person, that thing, who joined the boards in 2022. He ostensibly has far greater substance and financial service experience than the committee, which is comprised of a vineyard owner, retired healthcare CIO, former U.S. Treasury Undersecretary, and consulting firm heads. Perhaps most troubling is that SVB astonishingly operated much of 2022 without a risk officer. It announced the hire on January 4th. I feel bad for Kim Olson. It announced her as the chief risk officer. She will probably take the fall because there was no risk. It reveals that SVB initiated discussions with Laura, that lady, about a transition early in 2022. According to the company, they entered a separation without cause agreement. Does the risk committee think 18 meetings equates to a collective de facto CRO, Chief Risk Officer? All right, whatever, dude. The whole thing's clown show. This is what happens when you're dealing with woke. Woke numbers don't matter. Woke just means what your skin color is and who you partner up with in the sack. I love it. The smell of go woke, go broke in the morning. It makes me happy. Remember, wasn't UBS? I think UBS was bailed out too in 2008. So UBS has bought out credit. So let's take a look. The day UBS, the biggest Swiss bank, was saved. Swiss bank UBS fell victim of high-risk strategy and expansion of the U.S. market when the financial crisis erupted 10 years ago. The Swiss government and the central bank's plan to bail them out was not only successful, but profitable too. All right, so there we go. So it's so profitable that they had to bail out UBS, who turns out have to bail out Credit Suisse. And Silicon Valley Bank is bailed out by the Treasury, and everybody's better for it, dude. It's great. All these community banks aren't. Janet Yellen, said they're not going to have their deposits guaranteed. So basically, if you're a community bank, you're like, now I have to compete with credit unions who don't pay taxes on their income, and now I got to compete with big banks who are too big to fail. It's all part of the Marxist systematic destruction of this economy, where it's just fascism. Marxism and fascism are just two pieces of the same pot. That's all there is to it. They want big government and big business at the behest of the leaders that be. The Rockefellers, the J.P. Morgans, the Rothschilds. I mean, come on, man. Yeah, we're all serving those lords. And it's just, there's no way around it. You're not going to vote your way out of this, my friends. It's silly. It's dumb. You just recognize the collapse is imminent. And when I say imminent, it doesn't mean during our lifetimes. It could be. It might be, 2 generations, 3, but it's coming. And just, say, look, try not to spend as much as you used to. Try to live on less. That's the lessons for this stuff, dude. Just say, maybe I don't need the crap I used to have. Maybe I don't need to buy a new car every 2 years. Maybe I don't need to, I don't know, whatever. Take a trip to, whatever it is, rich people, I don't know. What do? I just sit around. I like my ribeye, and that's pretty much it. I like books, and I like to do videos. I don't really spend that much. On occasion we'll take a vacay with the kids. That's not cheap when you got a family of 6, but as my kids get older and get out of the house, I don't spend very much. My wife will do more with them, but just try to cut back on spending and just see how it works, because it's gonna happen. By hook or by crook, you're going to be forced to reduce your lifestyle. There's no other way around that. Like for instance, I have a pool right here. I don't ever heat that sucker. Even the freaking, whatever the sauna thing is called. Not the sauna, I don't know what that thing's called. What the hell's that thing called? The thing right there, the circle thing. Whatever that is. Spa? I don't like turning that on, dude. It's freaking, when I hear the spa turn on, I just think of dollars floating up the freaking chimney flue. Because you got to heat that with natural gas, and that stuff ain't cheap. But I get it. I live in a nice house. I got a nice pool. I get it 100%. All paid for, other than the house is getting close to being paid for. Not quite there yet, but we're moving the ball that direction. The issue is we're going to have to do with less, and we're just gonna have to get used to it, because whatever this is that we're dealing with is not sustainable, dude. You can't keep bailing out everybody. It just doesn't work. And at some point, the collapse, and I don't even know what it looks like. I don't know, but it's not going to be what we're accustomed to. It just can't. So just try to accommodate yourself to get used to it. You know what I'm saying? It's like just, what's the word I'm looking for? When you're, instead of going cold turkey when you're quitting cigarettes or something like that, do a gradual decline. That's what you should try to be doing here. All right, love your thoughts. We'll see you.